Madame Ferrari, for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much to our witnesses that are here today. Really appreciate the work you do to stand up for our working class families across this country. It's much appreciated. Mr. Aylward? Appreciate your testimony today and some of the things that you've said. One of the questions I have for you is, how would you define the difference between a replacement worker and hiring outside consultants?
You're not going to hire a replacement worker unless you're on strike. You're going to hire a contractor to do this job 12 months of the year. There's the difference. A replacement worker is going to be called in to do my job while I'm out striking on the picket line. Things continue to go and move. The difference between a replacement worker and a contractor is that contractor, I'm never going to get that job back. The strike is over. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to go back to my job, and that replacement worker is gone. But if you bring in a contractor to take my job, I'm never getting that job back.
So you would say that a contractor or a consultant is worse than a replacement worker then?
There's nothing worse than a replacement worker. I'll make that very clear.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than a replacement worker. To go in and do somebody else's job while they're out on strike trying to make more money and trying to do better for their family, and somebody else is going in to do their job. There's nothing worse than that. But a contractor is a very close second.
Well, I think what's shocking about it is what we've learned. The Liberal government has spent $21 billion on high-priced consultants, contractors, and IT middlemen that do no actual IT work. And to hear what you're saying today, I think really hits home when we look at the stats of working class families accessing food banks, right? People who, to your point, exactly what you're saying. They're just doing the right thing, right? They're waking up, they're going to work, they're trying to provide, and then it's this slap in the face of, hey, you know what, we're gonna hire someone else, we're gonna bring in consultants, we're gonna hire IT workers, and I mean, now we know a lot of this is under investigation, which is also shocking. And I guess one of the things I would ask you, I will just put this on the record. Yesterday, PSPC revealed that 3 additional IT contractors have scammed taxpayers for at least $5 million and is being investigated by the RCMP. These frauds go back to 2018. The Minister of PSPC said this is the first wave of cases being turned over to the RCMP. And, you know, it begs the question of how much has gone to scammers through fraud and forgery. And I guess my question to you is, do you think it's gotten worse? Do you see this as a progressive problem, or where do you think we're at with this?
I think it has gotten worse as far as the contracting out. I was pleased to see in last year's budget, in the 2023 budget, that they're reducing the use of contracting, outside contracting. They're going to reduce that. That's good. I think the announcement that was made yesterday by Ministers Anand and Duclos, I think, is a positive step forward as well in fixing these issues, because obviously there's issues there. So I think all of that combined, I think it's a way forward to make sure that this does not get repeated.
I think I would push back a little bit with you. I respect your position, but I think saying that they're doing this but actually looking at the facts aren't exactly aligning, right? And I think there is a bit of a discrepancy there in terms of, yes, they've said they're going to do this, but when we look at the facts of what's actually happening, and obviously in particular Arrive scam, which has taken a lot of attention, there has been a lot of outside contract work. And I think this comes back to the big question, which you touched on earlier, of morale and mental health within the workplace. I don't know if you have the stats on, you know, missed work and that and what that is. Does anybody here have that sort of number of what that would look like to the economy of people who aren't able to come to work because the stress, right? I think about my friends at USJE in particular, right? These are correctional officers. They're put in extremely precarious positions. They're dealing with incredibly difficult situations. I think about officers who are dying by suicide. I think about all of these things, and you touched on it in terms of the morale and the toxic workplace, to your point, Ms. Payne, that is being created when you are always looking over your shoulder to see if you're going to be replaced or somebody's going to come in and take that. I guess my question would be, do you have a number?
Ferrari,
Thank you.
you're over your 5. Thank you.